Have you ever sat in your own car, across the street from a restaurant you can't afford, watching your whole life burn down in real time? That was me. Rain blurring the windshield, my knuckles white on the steering wheel, watching my wife, Clara, laugh at something another man just said. Her laugh. The one I thought was reserved only for me. She was supposed to be in a late-night conference call at her office on Wacker Drive. Instead, she was at a candlelit table at Alinea in Lincoln Park, her hand resting on his. And the worst part? The absolute worst part was knowing I wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. It started subtly, the way these things always do. Every Friday for the past 3 months, it was the same excuse. Babe, this quarter-end report is killing us. I'll have to stay late again. At first, I was the supportive husband. I'd have dinner waiting, telling her how proud I was of her work ethic. But then I started to notice things. A new, expensive perfume she only wore on Fridays. The way she'd angle her phone away from me. Small, insignificant details that pile up until they're a mountain you can't ignore. The final straw was a receipt I found in her coat pocket. Dinner for 2, from a place we'd never been. Time-stamped 9 p.m. on a Friday, she was supposedly stuck at the office. That's when the cold dread settled in my stomach. I knew. I just needed to see it for myself. So I followed her. That Friday, she kissed me goodbye, the lie tasting like bitter coffee on her lips, and I watched her drive away. My heart hammered against my ribs as I tailed her from a safe distance, not to her downtown office, but straight to the north side, to that upscale restaurant where my world unraveled. I watched them for an hour. Her leaning in close, him whispering in her ear. It was a scene from a movie I never wanted to star in. When I got home, long before she did, the house felt empty, haunted. She finally walked in around midnight, feigning exhaustion. Such a long night, she sighed, dropping her briefcase. I just nodded, a hollow shell of the man I was that morning. The next few weeks were a special kind of hell. She started picking fights, twisting my words. When I'd ask about her night, my voice shaking with unspoken accusations, she'd turn it on me. Why are you so insecure? Do you not trust me? Maybe we have bigger problems if you're this paranoid. It was classic gaslighting. She made me feel like I was the crazy one, the one destroying our marriage with my suspicions. Her coldness became a physical presence in our home. She was a stranger sleeping next to me. One night after a particularly cruel argument where she called me pathetic, I broke. I sat on the floor of our walk-in closet, surrounded by the life we'd built, and I just sobbed, a raw gut-trenching despair that left me breathless. In that moment of absolute brokenness, something inside me shifted. The grief curdled into ice. The sadness sharpened into a single, crystal-clear point of focus. Revenge. It's not loud, messy revenge, but a quiet, calculated demolition. The next Monday, I hired a private investigator, a discreet, ruthless professional who came highly recommended. I wanted everything. Photos, videos, financial records. Needed irrefutable proof. While he worked, I played the part of the slightly distant but still loving husband. Meanwhile, the pie was delivering gold. Pictures of them checking into a hotel on Michigan Avenue. Bank statements showing Marcus, her coworker, paying for lavish gifts. They were sloppy, arrogant. They really thought I was a fool. Now for the trap. I knew Clara's biggest weakness wasn't just Marcus. It was money and social status. So I concocted a story. I told her a distant, wealthy uncle had passed away and left me a significant inheritance, but there were strings attached. To receive the full amount, the family lawyer needed to meet my spouse at a formal family introduction dinner to see that I was in a stable, committed marriage. Her eyes lit up. The greed was practically dripping from her. She immediately became the doting wife again. The date was set. A catered event at a private room in a downtown Chicago hotel. I invited her parents, our closest friends, her boss, everyone who mattered in her world. The night of the party, she was radiant, draped on my arm, playing her role to perfection. She thought she was minutes away from securing her future. After the main course, I stood up, clinking a glass for a toast. I talked about love, trust, and commitment, watching her smile, soaking in the admiration from the room. Then my tone shifted. But sometimes, I said, my voice dropping, things aren't what they seem. On cue, a giant screen behind me flickered to life. It wasn't family photos. It was a slideshow. Crystal clear photos of her and Marcus, kissing in his car, her hand on his leg at that restaurant. Checking into the hotel, the room fell silent. You could hear a pin drop. Her face went from triumphant to ashen in seconds. Her father stood up, his face a mask of fury. Her boss just stared, shaking his head. I pulled out a stack of papers from my jacket. There is no inheritance, I announced to the room. But there are these. I served her with divorce papers right there, along with documented proof of her infidelity and misuse of our joint funds for her affair. All legally prepared to ensure she got absolutely nothing. Not a dime. Her lover Marcus, who was watching from a corner after being anonymously invited, tried to slip out, but her father blocked his path. The last I saw of her, she was standing alone in the middle of the room, her perfect life in ashes around her, utterly and completely ruined. I didn't say another word. I just turned and walked away. Now, sometimes on a quiet night, I wonder if she ever thinks about me.